So to do what we do and to really give it that yummy, give it that special feeling, give it that all, we need items that you can't just buy on shelves or go to the supplier and get to help bring and elicit emotions from people. And our goal is really to build from an emotional standpoint and give someone something far beyond that. When they're feeling a certain way, it's because of the environment they're in. We want to help guide them through this whole experience that the project wraps its arms around them every single day that they're there. So to do that, we can't have one focal point. We have to have a lot of things happening. And one of the things we do is we go out and look for reclaimed items. We go to garage sales, we go to flea markets, we go to auctions, we go to all these places, resale shops and thrift stores, and we're always on the hunt, always looking for something cool that we can use and integrate in the project. So today we're going to hit some garage sales. We're going to get out there and see what's available. And again, it's not the item that's laying on the counter that we're looking for, it's what it looks like, it's what it could be used for. It may be one thing that we see as the perfect shape to make it into something else. So we're always looking for those things, looking for things that have patina, have fatigue, have age. They already elicit a certain emotion, and those are the things we can blend into our project to really take it all the way. Hi Jeff, I've been in here a few times. My name's Al. Yeah, and I love your store, and we're just kind of driving around, so we thought we'd come in here, and I pick weird stuff for pool projects. We build really funky, creative custom swimming pools, and we're just starting one that's a pirate theme. So I'm always looking for anything nautical or pirate, or that's what I've been collecting. So I'm going to peek around, if you don't mind. Awesome. I will, thank you. So here's an example of a cool handmade copper, very old copper pot. Now this, think about pirate theme, think about cooking around a fire over a stove. What could that look like in terms of on a ship or a shipwreck? What would they be able to use as a means to survive? And that has a lot of really interesting shape, and it is very old, so it has the patina, it has the feel of age. You could almost picture this having been through a storm and a crash and found in the sand, and someone using it to go and get water, someone using it to hang over a makeshift fire to make stew, something like that. And it's important to tell yourself the story, because once you tell yourself the story, you can connect to an object. So this is the type of thing that we're looking for. All handcrafted, old and beat and dented, and that's what gives it character. That's what gives it it's been through the fire. It's been out and about doing its thing for, I imagine, 100 years or more. So think about just what has happened just with this. Who's held it, who's used it, who's dropped it, who's dinged it, who's banged it, and how many people have been fed through it, how it's been used. You build on that energy, and you can take something and make anything out of it. Keeping in mind with the theme, so in this particular case, we're on the search for pirate-related things. Now here's something that was just a wall display, but it has daggers, it has plates. This could easily be used if the price was right. These could be props in the project, and this could be the booty. This could be some of the things that are left in treasure chests, and it could be patinaed and painted gold. There's a lot of different things you could do to make it look rich and expensive. We could detail a little bit along the edges to give it a real feel, but something like that that's just sitting on a wall somewhere could very quickly become a nice piece for its parts and using its parts. In this case, I have no idea how much it is. I'll have to ask, but if the price was right, then it would be something that I would want to use. How much on these?
Those I was getting 50, but I do 35 on them.
I'll take them.
All right.
For sure.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh. close. I think I'm going to take this one. So what he said was, he said this one is 75, but he would do it for 50. And two knives, no matter what I did just to replicate these knives, at $25 a piece is a pretty good deal. And not only that, then we also get this one 8-piece. Nope, he said he would do that at 75. But he said he would give it to me for 50. Oh. So I'll take that at 50, which means each of these are $25 a piece, and that is free. That plate, and that plate has the exact feel of the period of time that we're looking for. This is all stuff from the conquistadors, so we're talking 300-400 years ago, which is right in that pirate frame. Anywhere from the 1650s to about the 1780s is kind of the feel that we're going for. And this type of stuff would be very much something that they would have had, found, used, stolen, so that they would have it as tools. So this is the perfect type of thing that I'd be looking for. And again, talk to the owners of the shops and say, what can you do for me? It's always worth at least asking if they'll negotiate price.
No, I thought she was just trying to guess.
We'll just leave it here. So this is what they call the warehouse, and you can go in this particular store. They also have what they call the warehouse. This is an additional non-heated space. You can come through and see what's here, and each time I come through there's new stuff. It's a good collecting where they collect their stuff and eventually they bring it in. Sometimes it's still dirty, sometimes it's not ready for sale, but you can negotiate and buy. Not sure what this is.
Does it even do anything?
No. It just kind of has a... All right, I'm going to go pay.
All right, man. Okay. See you, after Monday. Yeah, get with me, and then I'll, I can come on. Don't put that on camera.
Should be. Cool. Thanks. See you next time. Appreciate it. And thanks for letting us shoot in here. We got some good shots, some good stuff. Absolutely will. I mission accomplished. I found a conquistador helmet that I figured I'd take a look at before we left. Okay. So that's why I didn't get out here right away. To recap for today, we got a whole bunch of different things done today, but we also made a point of stopping at a couple different places along the way to find props and things that we could use in the project. And one of the things we got was a plaque. Here's what's left of the plaque. Had a couple knives on it and this rather interesting medallion looking thing. The information from the guy that we bought it from at an antique shop was that these came from a university on the East Coast, New Hampshire, somewhere there, and they had been hanging in one of the rooms there for many years. Well, these in combination become really good parts for us to use and to work into our design with the pirate theme. So this, very ornately done, it's metal, it's going to be able to take some of the weather, is more than likely we'll give it a patina, we'll give it some kind of a gold color, and maybe even go ahead and go in here and add some color to all of the little details. Because the deeper and the richer and the more detail we can give it, the more interesting it is. People can see it over time. And I picture this being just some of the booty left in the treasure chest from the pirates. Something that they would have picked up along the way in their travels, and it's something that's very valuable in the eyes. And again, I'm making this story up in my head, but it's very valuable to someone else during that period of time. But it has a really good look. It's going to be able to weather the weather. It's going to be able to handle the weather well. And then over time, any paint that we do on this is going to fade. And the more it fades, the more it gives it that longevity, that distance, that having been around for a long, long time. We live in this world where everyone thinks they want things freshly painted and crisp and clean, and yet that rarely evokes an emotion. That people might say, oh, having something all painted one color just calms me, and it may very well, but where people tend to feel really good is when things start getting patina and there's some age, because it has history and story to it. And that's what I see 5 years down the road after this has been on the project, for 5 years out in the weather. It'll have a great patina and weather to it, and the paint will have faded, and the sun will have changed some of it, and it'll feel a certain way, much like the daggers and the swords. We got some daggers, we got some swords, we got some other things that we can use to create this emotion, to create this fantasy world that the kids can be a part of, and they can see that, and maybe it'll be buried into a wall, or it'll be stuck part way out, this far out, so they can't move it or they can't do anything with it, but they can imagine what it would be like to be a pirate and having and using something like this. So that's kind of the feel when we go out looking, is we're trying to find things that'll create those emotions.